Pedro from A&P-REACTS. I'm here with Eugene from Jinjer. How are you doing?
Fine. Great to see you guys.
It's nice to see you as well. I'm getting used to the microphone. We've never done an interview with a microphone before. How's the tour been so far?
Well, I think it is obvious everything has been really cool so far, and is going to will be cool, same cool all tour long here in Europe too. Shows are selling out, crowd's reaction is awesome everywhere. Yeah, people keep talking about Jinjer, so things are going very well. I'm really happy about everything.
The last time I saw you was a year ago at this venue. You guys were opening up for Cradle of Filth. You're back now, headlining a sold-out show. How does that feel?
Well, of course it's pleasant. Of course it's something very, very extraordinary. And still, I kind of there is a piece of me which doesn't believe things which are happening, because it's not only here. The day before yesterday we were in Montreal, and same story. First time we were there a year and a half ago with Cradle of Filth. Now we're getting back there and we're selling it out. And it happened in many other places, like New York. We never played at Gramercy, but we sold it out, and it was one of the standout concerts on the tour. So yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. So much awesome that sometimes it is hard to believe it.
What is it about Jinjer that just keeps pulling people in? Because the concerts keep getting sold out, like you said. The European tour is almost sold out at every single place that you guys are playing. So how do you feel about it? Like, what is it about Jinjer that you feel that really brings the audience in?
It's hard to say. I think the uniqueness, of our music. I do believe that we play our own unique style, and it does attract people's attention. Of course, there are a lot of musicians who listen to our music. Yeah, and I believe they come in just because they want to see it, how we play, and learn something. Yeah, so it's great. It's great to understand now that we inspire a lot of younger musicians. It is really a very motivating point now. I mean, from my perspective, and also, well, we have to admit that Tatiana is a extraordinary front person, and the way she, how she communicates with the crowd. She doesn't really control the crowd. She's not that kind of front person on stage who just controls the crowd, like, and tells them what to do every single moment. No, her communication with the crowd is very intimidating, yes, and it is something. It creates a special vibe. I think another unique thing which Jinjer has, and which definitely pulls people to see us live.
In a couple of weeks, Macro is coming out. How excited are you guys to release this album?
Extremely excited. Like I told you before when we just met today, this is our first record, which we're all in the band proud of. Over every single note, every single word. They are the sound which we managed to create with Max. It's definitely at the moment the top point of our career in all the respects, musically, production wise, and also in terms of team building. Finally we managed to work very, very effectively together. We just put aside all misunderstandings, all miscommunications, maybe some offenses we had in the past, and just worked as the same organism, as a machine. In terms of productivity as a machine. So this is something we feel proud of, and we cannot wait for all the people around the world to give it a listen.
Before we get into Macro, I have to ask you this. Whose idea was to release the EP Micro and then the full-length album Macro? Because I feel like that's pure genius.
Well, it turned out to be like that, but it wasn't planned. Originally, if I'm not mistaken, I told you last time. So originally, we planned to stay home last fall, and compose and record the full album. But because the first tour here in the States with Cradle of Filth was very successful for us. I was literally persuaded by Daz to come here, play a tour with them, Devil Driver, last year, and that is why we didn't have time for the album. But at the same time, we couldn't play anymore on stage without new songs. We just needed new songs a lot, and the decision was kind of like a compromise. Yeah, we would make an intermediate release, which will be an EP, which turned to be micro, and then we will see what to do. And the interesting side of it is that we kind of recorded the EP, and we realized that our composing potential, productivity, and inspirational potential was very high, and we just cannot let ourselves stop now and do nothing. We need to keep on writing. So straight after the tour this winter with Amorphous and Soilwork, we didn't have any songs. We didn't have anything. We just everything we had was on micro, already released, and we just came home and started writing from scratch. And here we are. It turned out to be the whole album, full-length album, which we are about to release.
You know, it's really crazy because you guys tour a lot. I'm sure probably by now you've gone through like 3 or 4 passports because you're running out of pages to get stamped for. So how do you guys work on lyrics and songs while you're on tour so that
No, we don't at all. Maybe a few pieces. Vlad sometimes records just with his phone. He sings some riffs. I also sometimes do this, or I can just come up with something at the sound check. But generally, no, we do not do anything. We prefer doing this way. We prefer being back home, relaxed, calm, just on daily basis. We start writing riffs. We start composing songs, each of us. So basically, most of the songs you can hear on the album are written individually by each of us, and then we work on arrangements together. Then, for example, in my songs, in Pose and Death is one of the songs which comes from me, but the mid part now, after you mentioned this, we have a break, this acoustic break, and then it turns into this mid part of the song. This mid part of the song was made by Vlad. He just put it into my song, and it perfectly matched. And then we worked together on the arrangements. And once again, I understood how cool it is to work with Vlad, because all his riffs, he composes this on the guitar. I can do a lot of things on my bass in his riffs. I have so much space for creativity, for going there and here in his parts. That is why I really enjoy collaborating on songs with him. Yeah, and same with Roman too. So we may add some changes to each other's songs, and then we work on arrangements together. Yeah, and this time it was very, very entertaining. The whole process was very, very entertaining. Yeah.
Macro is absolutely phenomenal. You guys really continued, in my perspective, what you started with Micro. Micro is, if you're looking at these two records as a meal, Micro is the appetizer, and then Macro is the full-length meal. You know what I mean? The question I have for you is, there's a couple of songs on this Macro album that just really blew my mind. And I want to start perhaps with the most obvious one, which is Perennial Backwards, the last track that you guys have on the record. How did the idea for that song come about?
Easy. It was very easy to decide to do so. We wanted to, and we still want to make people understand it is a double record. It is a double record, and this double record, these two releases must be always considered together. Yeah, they were written within the same period of time. They share the same mood and the same maybe message. Yeah, and by adding this remixed version of Perennial at the end of Macro, we wanted people to reconsider everything they just listened and go back to Micro. So it's like we made a perfect circle. We completed it. Yeah.
It felt to me like that when I was listening to it. Another song that was if I have to pick it's really hard to pick a favorite song on this Macro album because it's stacked with great tracks. But Retrospection is one of those songs that really speaks out to me, like immediately the first time is that your favorite?
It's my favorite.
What is it about that song that makes it your favorite?
Well, a bit selfish, but this is the best bass arrangements I've ever done. This is the best bass line I've ever written. The song is Vlad's song entirely in terms of composition. Yeah, and the arrangements, again, like I told you, we were making them together, and this is the best bass line I've ever made. I did a lot of new things there. I kind of overstepped my boundaries, and it's something which makes me proud. But the main point why this is my favorite song is the message it has. So you know our situation. We do not really see our parents often, and I haven't been back home for 4 years now. And homesick feeling is something we all bear. We all bear inside of us, and by the means of this song we express it. And we also give the credit to our parents, because there are no other people in this world who made more for us than our parents.
Yeah, who sacrificed the most for us.
Exactly. Especially in the surrounding we grew up, and the country we grew up. It meant a lot. I mean, yeah, I really, now I understand that it was sacrificing, yeah.
So once Macro, you guys touring in North America now, Macro is coming out in a couple of weeks, then you guys going to head over to Europe to a tour that's looking, if I can say, even better than the North American tour as far as sold out shows. It's every day you guys are announcing a new sold out show. Is there any break for you guys down the road?
We'll have a break in winter. January and February will be no concerts. We'll start playing only the end of February, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and but again, it's gonna be full of work. We were gonna shoot a few videos for sure in winter, and after that, back on tour, back on the road. Yeah, I think for most of 2020.
One last question for you. Tonight's show here in Toronto. What can fans expect as far as the set list is concerned? Are you guys including tracks from Macro on this North American set list?
Yeah, we're gonna play today Retrospection and Judgment and Punishment, and in a few days a new single will be out. As soon as it is out, we'll be added. Yeah, and after the album is released, we'll add one more song. So in America, we'll be definitely playing 4 songs. In Europe, at least 1-2 more.
So basically, the guys coming to the last couple of shows of this North American tour are going to get a treat, because they're going to get 4 tracks from the new...
Yeah, half of the upcoming album, for sure, yeah.
All right, Eugene, thank you very much for your time today. Have a great show, have a great tour. Thanks for everything, thanks for taking the time.
Thank you very much for the interview. As always, it's a big pleasure. Yeah. Just to talk to you. Yeah.
It's an honor talking to you. You guys have a great record. Go check these guys out on the road. And October 25th, Macro comes out. Pick it up on Napalm Records. See you guys.